sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and can even keep you from getting the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS. Listen, if you're like me, you hate doing admin crap. Number one, because you're not good at it. And number two, because you know it's taking you away from the stuff that actually makes you money. So why are you doing it? Do what I did. Go to worksby.com right now and let them pair you with a real executive assistant. Once I started working with Cheryl at Worksby, my income went up 40% in 1 month, and my working hours went from 70 down to 40. It's a game changer. Go to worksby.com right now, book a call, and tell them Walker sent you. If you do, you'll get 2 extra hours of service for free as a bonus. So if you're ready to finally stop doing the stuff you hate and focus on the stuff that makes you money, go to worksby.com right now. That's WORXBEE.com. Tell them Walker sent you, and you'll get those 2 free hours. Welcome to the No BS Sales School podcast. I'm your host, Walker McKay. What you listen today, I want to tell you a story about how to become what is a professional salesperson. It's a simple little story about a boy that works in a hardware store, and it's his first day on the job, and he doesn't know shit. He doesn't know anything, doesn't know where things are, whatever. And his boss says, look, I'm really busy. You're going to go to training in about 2 weeks, but I don't have time to mess with you now. Do me a favor, sit up on that stool by the front door. If somebody comes in looking for help, do your best to help them. Don't screw it up. So the boy's like, okay. And so he sits in his stool, and you can hear him. He's freaking jittering with energy, so excited, hoping somebody asks him for help. And in the door walks a little lady. So the little lady says, hi, I'm looking for a heater. Can you help me find a heater? He's like, oh yeah, sure I can. The guy's got no freaking idea where the heaters are in the store. He hadn't been there but 15 minutes. He don't know shit. So he's talking to this lady, and he realizes he can't really tell her anything. He doesn't know anything. So he asks her questions. He says, so listen, happy to show you heaters. What do you want a heater for? And she says, well, I've got this room in the back of my house where I watch television. It gets kind of cold in the evenings. I'd like to have a heater back there to keep it warm so that I can stay warm. He says, oh, okay. And then finally he sees the aisle where the heaters are. And he sees there are like 300 varieties, or maybe there are 20 varieties of heaters. And he says, okay, wow, we've got all kinds of heaters here. We've got, big ones and small ones. We've got some that are $1,000 and some that are $20. Can you help me understand what kind of range you'd like to be in price-wise? She says, well, Lord, I don't need a $1,000 heater, for goodness sakes. And, probably the $20 heaters are probably, not something that's safe for me. So probably somewhere in the $50 to $100 range. He says, okay, great. So he goes over the place where they're $50 to $100 range. And he says, okay, there are several varieties here. We've got some that are, different kinds, and he doesn't know anything. And she says, I really don't care as long as it keeps my house warm. And if it's in my price range, he says, okay, fine. He goes, oh, it looks like there are several different colors here. There's blue ones and red ones and white ones and green ones. You have any particular color preference? And she says, yeah, I'd like to have the red one because it will stand out and I won't trip over it when it's on my blue rug. He says, great. So he gets her the box. He takes her up to the front of the store, and she buys the heater. And before she leaves, she goes by the manager and she says, I just want to tell you, you've got a fine young man over there. He did a great job, really made me feel comfortable, and I'm glad you hired him. The manager goes, okay, great. So this story repeats itself over and over again for 2 weeks as the boy just kind of figuring things out. He doesn't know shit, so all he can do is ask questions. And people keep going and complimenting the manager how great this guy is. And the manager says to the boy, says, shit, man, you're obviously got some kind of special talent. I can't wait to get you trained. You'll be awesome. So the boy's excited about that too, because he could be super awesome. He knows what the hell he's doing. So he goes to product school. He's there for a couple of weeks. They call it sales school. It really was just teaching about all the different products. And he comes back, and he is freaking fired up. Now he knows everything about everything. He knows what the hell he's doing, where everything is, advantages of different products, and what they love about certain things. So he's sitting in his little lucky chair, first day back from product school, his boss winks at him and says, "You go, boy. This is going to be a good one for you. We're so excited to have you back." So in the door walks a gentleman, and he looks at the boy in the chair and says, "Hey, can you help me? I need a cooler." Boy's like, "Hell yes. Have we got some coolers for you? We have got great coolers. Oh my God, we've got a tremendous selection of coolers. As a matter of fact, we've got these new Yeti coolers. These big ones are 200 quart Yeti coolers. They keep cold things cold for 6 months or whatever, and keep your ice for a week and a half. And it is the best. It's 20% off today. This is the best damn cooler in the world. You'd kind of be a fool to buy any other kind of cooler. It's got a warranty. It's got this. It's got that. It's got these kind of handles and da 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 da. And the guy looks at him and says, "Hey, that's great. Thank you very much. Let me think about it. Lot to think about there." The guy walks out the door, and it turns out that the guy was there because he's taking his grandson fishing. And he wanted a little styrofoam cooler, $5 cooler, to keep the boys' drinks and sandwich in. But when the sales guy, the new superstar sales guy, came in and started educating and telling him what he needed to do and sharing his opinions with the prospect before he knew what the deal was, he ran off the buyer. He ran off the prospect, right? Because it was more information and it was not what he wanted, and it was just a different situation. So if we look at an effectiveness curve, right? When somebody's at the very beginning when they don't know shit about the products, all they know to do is ask questions. That's all they can do. And so what we find in general, right, is that person will be highly effective if all they can do is just ask questions about what the person wants. But then we send people off. We say to get them training, product training. Which again, don't take me too literally here. Product training is important. But then that's what your salesperson then begins to see. Oh, it's all about the products. Look at all these cool products. They taught us about all these cool products. We love this shit. I now know more than my prospect does, so I can tell them. Just like the guy did with the Yeti cooler. He knew a lot more than the prospect did. And so he could tell him what he needed without asking, right? Which in effect, you miss the boat, right? You don't give them what they need. They get confused, or you're talking about something that's completely not relevant, and therefore you lose business. You go back up on the far side, somebody who's an experienced person, who's a professional, they understand that while product knowledge is important, what really matters is your prospect and their opinions about things and what they're really looking for and why that matters and why they need it now. And what kind of problem are they really trying to solve? And what kind of budget do they have? And how are they going to make a decision? All this shit before you start talking about products and what you think is the best thing. I may have shared with you all the story. I went to a clothing store the other day and I met this clothing salesman, and she said to me, "Oh, you need to come look at this jacket. It'll be perfect on you." And I thought, perfect on me, huh? How the hell do you know what perfect on me looks like? I thought to myself. And all of a sudden, I was predetermined for it not to be perfect. There's hell no, it's going to be perfect. Hell no, it's not going to be perfect. What the hell's perfect? And I thought about it afterwards, and I said, if she'd said to me, "We've got a jacket. I don't know if you're interested in jackets at all. Probably not. And hell, you may not even like it. But I kind of like it. And I'm curious what you would think. I guess is you won't want to buy it." You know what? I probably would have tried on the jacket, which I didn't try on. I probably would have tried on the jacket, and I would have decided if I liked it or not, because I don't give a shit what her opinion is, but she challenged me, right? Remember, your prospect doesn't give a shit about your opinions until they know that you understand them and their situation. So I called today. I'm leaving for Maine tomorrow on this great trip that I love. Somebody said, "Are you taking your family?" I said, No, this is a pleasure trip. We go fishing way up in the North Maine woods. 3 other guys, our 15th year. And I needed a pair of muck boots had muck boots because there's a lot of mud up there and we're fishing anyway. It's just they're good boots to have when I'm up there, big, tall rubber boots. And I had some, but they basically rotted because I had them so long. So I had to go get some more. So I started calling around stores trying to find some muck boots. And I call this guy at, maybe it's Dick's Sporting Goods. And I said, hey, do you guys have this particular variety of muck boots? This size and this particular type. And he said, no, but we do have these, this, and this. And this is great because of X, Y, and Z and blah, 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 blah. And I said, huh, buddy, I appreciate that, but I am looking specifically for these boots for this reason. And he goes, oh, yeah. Well, you can get them. We can have those things shipped to you. I said, I appreciate that, but I need them today. And I don't think you can ship them to me today. Right. So immediately I'm on the defensive. I'm not on the defensive, but I'm sitting there thinking, this guy's not being helpful. He's not being helpful to me at all. Suppose he'd start off the conversation with, you want to talk about muck boots? Happy to talk to you. Tell me, what is it about muck boots that you like? Why is it you think you need some of those? Right. So, they're great boots. People like them. But tell me what it is about those that you're particularly looking for. What attracts you to them? And I would have said, well, they're something I've had before. They're comfortable. They last a long time. I like a specific kind because they fit me well, blah, blah, blah. And he could have said, okay, great. He said, so when were you hoping to have these things? And I could have said, well, I'm looking for them because I'm leaving on a trip tomorrow morning. I need to have them today. And he could have said, well, we don't have any like that right now. He said, I've got some alternatives. Would you be interested in hearing about those alternatives? And what I would have said was, man, I appreciate that. Probably not. I'm looking for muck boots. I'm looking for something specific because that's what I want. But here's the thing. I'd be much more likely to call this guy next time when I needed something because he's took the time to understand as opposed to vomiting information at me. Do you do this to your prospects? When you finally get a meeting, do you try and justify your existence about how smart you are by telling people all that you know and all the reasons they should buy from you? Is that part of your sales process? If so, just know you're burning a lot of prospects. You're wasting time with a lot of prospects and making it harder for you to get back in there again. Because if you're the know-it-all and they decide not to buy from you, guess what? You're probably going to be pissed. And probably they're going to think, Lord, wait, that guy was, we didn't do what he said. We went a different direction. We sure as hell don't want to call him next time. Right? Too pushy. Think about your job. Product knowledge is important. Don't get me wrong. But that's not the end all be all. I will tell you there are two things you have to learn. One is about your products, and number two is how to shut up, which is another way of saying how to sell. How to figure out how to ask people questions to elicit their opinions so you can understand where they're coming from, why it matters. Do they really need to make a change? What kind of budget do they really have? How are they going to make a decision? Learn all that stuff before you share what your perfect solution is. And if you hadn't learned all that stuff yet, keep your damn mouth shut. Because what if you find out all these things, you find out what they're looking for and why, you find out their budget, and then you find out, but they're not going to buy anything for 2 years. Any reason to give them a proposal now? Hell no. All they'll do is, if they're not trying to buy something now, and they're going to wait 2 years to buy something, and you show it to them now, all they're going to tell you is it's too expensive. And they've got 2 years, if they want to take your number around and shop it to other people. You want to give proposals to people that don't give proposals away unless you know what's going to happen next. Don't offer opinions to people until you know what theirs are first. You can be absolutely certain that you've got the right solution. You can be certain. But I want you to be skeptical that they're ready for that solution. So let's say that again. You could be absolutely certain you've got the best solution, but also be skeptical that they're ready for that solution. So when you go in, remember, you're not the right fit for everybody. You're not the right fit. Even if you've got a perfect solution, they may not be ready for it. Your job is to go in and ask questions and understand the prospect. Even if you see the same type prospect over and over and over and over again, and you basically know what they're going to say, nobody gives a shit. Don't be clinical. Each person they want to be understood on their own. Everybody believes, we all believe we're different, right? All of us, one thing we have in common is we all believe we're different. We all believe that our basic, that we are different and special. And at the same time, we also believe that generally our life experience is normal. So we've got this weird thing, this weird dance we play in our own mind. It is each of us as we go out into the world. We believe we're special, and we also believe that our experience is normal, like everybody's had it. So you got to push that aside. It doesn't matter what your experience has been. What matters is what your prospect's experience is. That's what matters. What triggers them, not what triggers you. Walker McKay with No BS Sales. I cannot thank you guys enough. I want you to know that our podcast is growing. It's growing every single month. It's because you guys have been spreading the word. And I can't thank you enough for that. It makes a big difference. I was looking up, we kind of have raw statistics from this. It's hilarious to me. Behind the United States, I've got more people downloading and listening to this podcast in Russia than any other country besides the United States. Isn't that crazy? So thank you, Russians, for listening. I appreciate you very much. I hope you're not part of all this hacking stuff that's going on. Mr. Putin, I appreciate you listening. If you guys want to find out what it's like to work with a sales coach, if you feel like you're ready to see what it's like to go to the next level and what it might be like to work with a sales coach, send me an email, walker@walkermckay.com. Let's set up a time to get together and talk and have a no BS conversation. I wish you all a great selling week. I hope you go out there and kick ass. I'm going to be in a trout stream chilling out, and I'll be refreshed and ready to roll when we come back. Thank you.